the cross, taking care of some early skeletons here in the process, grabbing a boost. Cypherin putting on a clinic, showing him that the rust is coming off now. And congratulations there to LordFancyPus doing the whip-only kill on the Orphic Vipers. Not out of this by any means. Ooh, getting back boosted there and then getting hit. Cypherin taking a lot of damage going into Poexel. Ooh, but playing it safe there, whipping up smartly, and actually saving himself a hit in the process. Cypherin coming into the mode 7 room. LordFancyPus just whipping everything down in the process. Took a little bit of damage he didn't expect. However, dropping down, not sure if that was intentional or not. Opting to go for the axe that was there. It potentially was intentional. Cypherin getting himself a sip of beverage in the meantime while he sits here hanging out. LordFancyPus with the axe coming in with a pretty good chunk of health going into Poexel, but again, no crosses, so it has to whip things down. So he is losing time at each of these exchanges. But again, a whole lot of CB4 left to run at this point. We'll see LordFancyPus get back up to full speed in Stage 5. Likely, I can imagine he'll be taking the ride in Stage 4 to grab the cross. Cypherin setting up to go into the the Tunnel of Love, as LordFancyPus put it, here momentarily. Health not looking where I think he'd like it to be, so he may have to take things a little safer than maybe what he would do otherwise, but overall he should be doing pretty well, or thinking he's doing pretty well at this point, I'm thinking. LordFancyPus settling in for his intermission, thinking about how things have gone so far. Definitely a difficult Stage 3 to swallow. He's got to be thinking he's behind at this point, and he would be right. Cypherin, however, with 1 health left to go, grabs the meat that's here. There's 1 more meat that he can get on the way to Coronat. And again, everything that you do in this room here, basically, any sort of whip or particle or whatever you're doing, any sprite that's added to that, it's a very delicate balance and adds a whole mess of lag. So try to do as little as possible. Cypherin here, opting not to go for the zip. So he's going to play things a little safer here. LordFancyPus entering the Tunnel of Love once again. And enjoying that wonderful, sickening Mode 7. A nice jump over that skeleton. That's a very tight one. Wow, actually both skeleton jumps right there. Did not expect to see those busted out. But FancyPus making that look clean and easy. Cypherin looking to make his way up to Coronat, showing us where the axe is. Taking a fireball to the toe and getting himself some meat. We see the money bag screen wrap on the left side there. Kind of fun. FancyPus missing the initial jump, so no zip on his side, even if he wanted to go for it. Very nice setup there for Cypherin. A bunch of crosses kind of passing through Coronat's side, but trying to take things a little on the safer side. And Coronat is down. A very high kill. Oh, and speaking about going high on that one, a early orb grab from Cypherin. Cypherin lengthening his lead, presumably, unless LordFancyPus can answer back. What a difference a race can make. Cypherin entering the Amazon Prime delivery level. Stage 5, hoping for no unexpected deliveries. Seems like we may have had some stream difficulty there in the meantime. My apologies, folks. Yeah, guess we're fighting with Twitch here on this side, but it's okay. Welcome back. If you guys have missed it, or if you guys are just joining us here, Cypherin is currently in the lead in front of LordFancyPus, both of these racers did race tonight, and however walked away losing both of their races respectively. So this is the redemption or revenge match. Both runners taking unfortunate deaths. Cypherin taking a pretty costly death in Stage 5, and LordFancyPus taking a costly death against Coronat. Again, he had to kind of whip things down in the process. Double KO indeed. That definitely hurts. Again, right now, from the psychology standpoint, both of these runners right now are not going to be feeling good about it. But that was a good chance right there for FancyPus. Unfortunately, it hurts. It hurts to see that happen just for both runners here. But both now are thinking that things are not going well based on those deaths. Very disheartening, very rough ones to take. But again, we still have more than half the game to go at this point. Ooh, Cypherin getting the unfortunate delivery at the end, the last second delivery. Gets himself the boost, opting to take the knight safe. And FancyPus going into Coronat with full health and an axe in hand. Something interesting to note here is that LordFancyPus is one of 2 runners on the SRC boards that actually runs on an SNES Mini. And one thing that I've noticed that's slightly different about the SNES Mini version of Castlevania 4 is actually the white flashes during the different enemies that do that. Gaibon, Zapbat, and Coronat. It actually it does kind of a much lighter flash. It doesn't do a full white screen overall. It just kind of slightly grays things out and does it at a much slower rate. So kind of an interesting thing for what it's worth, but glad to see that they actually went back and made that modification mindfully. That being said, here Cypherin on to stage 6. We have LordFancyPus on stage 5. Cypherin on stage 6 going into the chandeliers. Let's see how aggressively he decides to take it. And see if LordFancyPus can possibly catch up here in the process. Anything again can happen. Anything can happen, like I said. Catches the edge of that chandelier. That is a major time loss for Cypherin. Again, combined with the stage 5 death, he's got to think he's not in the lead at this point. Or he's the one that's playing catch up, but however, it's not the case. That definitely helps LordFancyPus on his side as he's coming into the entrance screen on stage 5. But Cypherin, I would imagine, is going to be taking things a little safer on the chandeliers at least, but may turn it on a little bit later here in the run. Yes, Curse of the Commentator, I will fully own that. But so long as we have a close, tight race and things are exciting for you guys to watch, that's what matters, right? That being said, very heartbreaking to see. We saw him wait the cycle out, nothing wrong with that. And on the LordFancyPus' side, he'll be walking into Castlevania proper this time. Stage 6 for him. Cypherin coming into the final chandelier, and he is through. LordFancyPus getting those clean jumps over the bat there. That's actually a little tight, but you can make it through there. It looks real good when you do. Overall, doing a nice job getting himself back up to full speed. Has himself a triple shot cross and feeling good, but missing the stairs, unfortunately. Having to go down and say hello once again to the Axe Knight. Cypherin taking a fun visit to a fun room, the secret room of stage 6 that only appears once per game over, for what it's worth. And opting to keep the doggo ghost going on that side and getting himself a 2-shot cross. So that little stop is also going to cost some time. Ooh, Cypherin going to be very careful. Those ectoplasms could actually troll him and push him back into the axe, and that would have all been for naught. LordFancyPus through on the chandeliers. The gap now has been officially closed up. And we now see that both runners now both have a triple shot cross. Cypherin coming up to the bat boost. Opting for a strange setup for that one. Maybe a little bit of a buffer strap, but unable to get that. We'll see if FancyPus goes for that, and that would be another chance for him to catch up in the process. A lot of lag here on FancyPus' side. That does add up over time. He's going to be keeping that ectoplasm on the side of the screen, potentially taking care of it. See if he can get the bat boost. And also not getting that in the process here. Unfortunate. So they break even on that one here. Cypherin pulling away, about a screen ahead from what we're seeing here, coming into the skeleton hallway. Ooh, FancyPus unfortunately falling down, it looks like. But getting the bat boost redemption. He just wanted to show you guys what that looked like, just in case you forgot. So there we go. He's making it through, being a little more careful this time with his jumps coming up. And once again, Cypherin's still one screen ahead. FancyPus has to watch his health. He has not hit a checkpoint yet. You don't reach a checkpoint until you actually make it to the skeleton hallway. So we've got to be very careful. Jumping the coffin to ensure that he didn't aggro it. Getting the safety meat along the way. Imagine he may take the wall meat then too in the next screen, or the 2 screens from now. And once again, Cypherin still 1 screen? No, he's now 2 screens ahead from what it looks like in the ballroom proper. With plenty of health to kind of work things through, so even with a bad dancer pattern, he would still do pretty decently. And a whole mess of hearts. 38 hearts currently in stock. LordFancyPus jumping through here. You can jump over those hands. There's some hearts you can grab from there, and if you do get grabbed by them, if you have a cross currently on top of that, the knight that's standing there only takes 1 hit. Paula Abgul and Fred Askare coming to give a hug to Cypherin, but he has put away stage 6 as LordFancyPus enters the grand ballroom. The greatest enemy in all of Castlevania, furniture. Doing a good job getting around that. Cypherin entering stage 7, having a hard start to that one, having a very stern conversation with both the knights to start things off with some lower health. And unfortunately, that knight not doing him any favors either, walking right. Those knights are RNG with how they'll walk. And you kind of want them to stay left so you can drop down without being hassled, but you have to actually take the kill in the process. And Paul Abgul and Fred Askare put away for the final time for this evening, presumably by LordFancyPus on that side. They'll be on the same stage, but not the same screen here, because it looks like Cypherin's going to keep his lead right at the end here, just in time. Synchronized black screens there. A nice clean jump down from Cypherin as he comes down here. Will he go for the book jump? He does not get a good axe and takes an unexpected hit, and that's going to throw off the book cycle slightly. Opts to throw the cross. Takes care of the blood skeleton. Throwing the cross once again. Will he go for the book jump? He was kind of bracing up there, but it looks like he didn't get what he wanted. But taking a hit! That's what happens if you don't actually go for that book jump there and you kill that blood skeleton. He can pop up at the worst time. And that is going to be extremely helpful for LordFancyPus, because now he's in the driver's seat. He has the cross to work with. Whereas all that Cypherin has is an axe, and that will cost him some time. LordFancyPus just has to make it through this screen deathless. You have to wonder, though, he's probably going to try maybe something risky. Will he go for the book jump? Wow, that was close. Wow, that was extremely close. LordFancyPus now has officially closed the gap. Cypherin now, I don't want to say running scared, but definitely the gap is definitely a lot lower now with an axe in tow. FancyPus doing a nice setup there. That dog will jump and is actually reactive to those candles. If you knock out that candle, you actually have a chance to just have a free jump over top of that dog, and you can leave him alone. LordFancyPus taking it very safe now. And grabbing the meat there in the wall, try to keep his health up as best as possible. Cypherin not looking so hot as far as health goes, not going to be taking these statue boosts coming into the final hallway leading to Sir Grakel. Taking it obviously very cautious. Only has an axe to work with. Goes for the backup there, the low axe, but gets hit by the bat swarm in the process. Got about half health. He's going to have to rush down Grakel as best as possible. And FancyPus right on his heels does not get the damage boost off the axe. And it can be a little more aggressive with Grakel. However, getting a hit back into the hand by those bats. And Cypherin, well played with just the axe, is only one boss ahead as opposed to one screen ahead. And we can see right here, a big time save right here. That's going to even things up quite nice. Quite good by LordFancyPus. It's close, folks. We have ourselves a race once again. Coming into the great equalizer of Stage 8. Anything can happen now at this point. We're only a couple seconds apart now. All sharing the same screen. Trying to minimize damage as much as possible. Cypherin putting those axes to good use, showing the axe knight that he too can throw an axe. Again, FancyPus gaining ground with those crosses. Ooh, Cypherin hugging the peeping eye that flew by there, but still being able to actually redeem and rebound himself in the process. FancyPus getting bullied as well, taking an instant death off of those spikes. He was closing the gap, and then that's what happens. Oh, painful. Cypherin with 1 health, also teetering on the edge of oblivion. But somehow able to persevere through great adversity, opting not to do the 1-frame jump. And just taking things slow that time around. That's how this stage goes, though. Just a single slip-up like that, a jump that is just way too early at some moment, can lead to absolute disaster and your demise. 1 health, he's almost there to the safety meet. FancyPus going for the boost once again. Getting bullied pretty badly, but does pick up the meat in the process, and looks like Cypherin has made himself to the checkpoint. FancyPus going for the 1-frame jump and getting it like a legend. Again, pulling out all the stops. There's got to be feeling it. Cypherin going for the stairs jump. Look at this. 2 advanced strategies pulled off effortlessly. Very exciting stuff, folks. Glad to see this. Both of them, they've got to be running scared at this point where they're thinking, well, clearly I've taken a lot of deaths. I'm just going to go for everything at this point. Cypherin going for those blood boosts, doing a good job. FancyPus has his backup cross. We're coming to Vegas Bridge, folks. Let's see what happens. Will Cypherin bet on Vegas again? We saw it the first time, but it doesn't pay off the second time around. Once again, we are now neck and neck. Can you believe it? What a race tonight. I'm on my edge of my seat here, folks. I am really excited to see how this is going to happen. What will LordFancyPus do at this point is the question. FancyPus has taken the lead. But has taken a death by the spike! Oh my god! What is going on? Cypherin taking it slow through Vegas and has now reclaimed the lead in Stage 8. Again, like I said, the great equalizer coming out to play once again. Vegas Bridge. But unfortunately, FancyPus not having a chance to get there. You have to wonder whether or not he's going to... He takes a death! It takes a game over! No! Oh my god! Oh! Wow. Yes, FancyPus having to take the game over there. They were neck and neck. He was in the lead for such a short period. That may be the heartbreak of the night right there. However, for what it's worth, Cypher right now sitting at 1 extra life to work with. Again, this run has been completely off the rails. It started off so promising, gets the Moonwalker, but recognizes it, was able to pull himself out of the process here. The good news is for Cypherin, however, that money abounds. There are points everywhere to be had, and he should be able to grab himself an extra life, which he does, by the way. He's back up to 2 by getting, I believe it's 70,000 points. Yes, 70,000. So good job for him there, giving himself that extra cushion to work with. LordFancyPus despawning that Bone Dragon in Stage 8, fighting the uphill battle very late in the game at this point. Cypherin back up to full steam, getting himself a triple shot. And coming into a pretty precarious area. opting not to throw the crosses earlier, throwing them lower. And sometimes the skeleton can jump over those. So kind of scary in the process, but doing a good job and making it to the checkpoint. Now, Cypherin's health not too great. He's going to have to kill this bone dragon as opposed to actually walking through. LordFancyPus about to try to redeem himself here in Stage Hate. The stage truly living up to its namesake tonight, folks. Very nice, clean section there from Cypherin. And LordFancyPus is through on Vegas Bridge. Ooh, Cypherin trying to go for a spike jump there. Not too bad of a time loss, all things considered. However, he will need to go get the cross back. So we'll be seeing a double dip to both the secret rooms, doing the 100% run for us tonight. And getting stuck in the vacuum there. Congratulations to LordFancyPus gambling on Vegas amidst adversity, and it pays off. Cypherin had to revisit or visiting the secret room in Stage 9, had to wait there for a little bit. FancyPus opting to take this nice and slow and safe, but getting hugged by the skeleton who's chasing him down. That can be kind of scary. And Cypherin unfortunately has the axe. I didn't even realize that's what happened. Okay, it looks like that since he had to kill that first dragon, dealing with the lag dragon here that usually you can despawn, but keeping the other one alive and doing some jumps around. Now this is going to be interesting. He's going to be coming into the Zapbat without the cross. He has the axe. He'll have a pretty good chunk of health to work with for what it's worth. But FancyPus could make up some ground in the process with the cross if he plays cleanly. He does make it to the first checkpoint, so that definitely is to his benefit. 22 hits for this bat to break apart. And it looks like Cypherin, with him having the axe, actually kind of just going for it and trying to pepper in those hits in between. FancyPus missing the early ring grab there in the Uncle Scrooge room, but getting the backup. Cypherin getting cornered by the tiny bats. A long zap bat, though. You can see that FancyPus is charging. He has the cross in tow. He's ready to go. Bat's giving a very rough pattern for Cypherin, but Zap Bat is down. He'll be moving on to Stage A. And FancyPus opting for a little bit of safety there, getting himself up to full health before he pops into here, but not too far behind. He has closed the gap. Richard Bones jumping down to say hello, letting him know that he is here and to still be feared. FancyPus taking some damage along the way here. He will actually despawn this dragon in the process, which means no lag to worry about. He is closing the gap every little step of the way, every little tiny little bit of nuance. He can bring things up. But Cypherin on his side, doing a good job here, starting things off in Stage A. Still with the axe in hand, opting to go for the dagger. This is all sub-weapons percent, folks. We just haven't seen the holy water or the watch. And FancyPus coming into the Zap Bat with a pretty good chunk of health to work with and a triple shot cross to do his dirty work there. Cypherin has the knife, which he throws squarely into that Medusa head's face. Trying to get things off as well to take care of that skeleton. Opting probably going to take the Medusa head boost here. He does. Goes for the slight turnaround, but does not get the early ring. And LordFancyPus takes down Zap Bat, not too far behind. We're coming into the final stretch here. Cypherin's got to be hurting here. He's on his last life, by the way. A game over. Oh, my God. What a recovery. Unbelievable. Almost falls into the hole there by bonking his head in the process, but still there. LordFancyPus coming into stage A. Cypher on his side about to get himself another backup cross. Got full health, but no lives to work with. Has to play this cleanly. FancyPus making his ascent. Cypherin getting the express ring, whipping down that bone dragon, positioning himself so. Looks like he's going to be taking the left-hand side. This is giving us some trouble tonight, folks, but taking things very safe. No risk this time around. Uh-oh, okay. Spawns the dragon. Off its pattern slightly. Cypherin barely makes it onto the platform. LordFancyPus ring to ring, catching up here in the process. Pretty decent health and a double shot cross going into Akmadon II. FancyPus, though, right on his tail coming into stage B here. It looks like he just needs to clear this part out. The mummy being somewhat kind to Cypherin, but showing him what happens here. He's got himself locked on the edge. And mummy is down. Cypherin moving on to stage B, trying to dump some of those crosses before he grabs the orb, and he does. And FancyPus right now grabbing onto the ring, waiting to get past this bone dragon and take his turn with the mummy. The final stage here, the final descent. And that was actually a smart move there by Cypherin, taking the intentional game over on the first screen. That definitely was the right call to do, getting a fresh set of lives to work with minimal time loss. We'll have to get the backup cross in the process. LordFancyPus locked in place, whipping down Akmadon. Looks like it's going to be another 2-cycle mummy. All Cypherin has to do here is finish strong, and he's got this. As he walks through Bat Bridge, taking a boost there. Not sure if intentional or not, but pushes himself a little bit forward, and LordFancyPus coming into stage B as well. A nice boost down the stairs there by Cypherin, moving on to Stairs Boss. The 1 of 5, let the boss rush begin. Now we will expect him to grab the dagger on the way up here. Slipping off the stairs, a little slipping on that one, but that wasn't too bad of a time loss, all things considered. LordFancyPus going to be on his way. Cypherin collecting hearts along the way, as best as he can. However, FancyPus right now has the triple shot cross in tow, does not need to worry about that backup, so that will be a little bit of a time gain he'll get right there in that one section. And once again, folks, they are now on the same screen. Cypherin getting the early platforms here, crouching down to avoid those spikes, not looking to give them a hug once again, going off to the left side. Going to do the backup where he swings over and gets precariously close to those spikes on the way up there. But does a very good job getting the backup cross. 2 more floating platforms stand between him and the end. Gets shish kebab by the Dullahan on the way up there. Trying to avoid getting hit by the skeletons. They're throwing everything at him. LordFancyPus hot on his tail, getting trolled by the Dullahan once again. FancyPus riding those platforms as far up as he can to reduce the time, because riding those platforms up is faster than actually walking up the steps here in the process. Cypherin opting to take the backup meat. And trying to get that double shot multiplier before he walks through here. On to Slagra. FancyPus, a mere few seconds behind. What a crazy race it's been, folks. This, I can tell you, is probably the most taxing and mentally agonizing race that both of these guys have gone through this evening. Now, Cypherin opting not to cross down Slagra. Looks like FancyPus is going to do that. He's going to catch up in damage here. This is going to be a very close finish, folks. Oh my gosh, here we go. Let's go. A fair point made in chat right now that both runners have to think that this run is not close by any means, and that they are putting on one heck of a show for us right now. Look at this Slagra. We are seconds apart right now. Cypherin ahead maybe by 2 or 3 seconds going into this. Neck and neck going into the Gaibon. This comes down to boss kill fundamentals, folks. Here we go. Cypherin setting up first, getting us some nice cross placements, a very almost identical cross placements from FancyPus, but the first one to get into phase 2. Gaibon is down on LordFancyPus' side. He's up by maybe about 5 or 6 seconds going into death. The leads are trading back and forth. We've had heartbreak, adversity, prevalence. We've had everything in this run. This may not be a sub 40 by any means, but the heart displayed by both of these runners and just committing and doing everything they can, betting on Vegas, one frame jumps, absolute insanity, coming into the death fight together in tandem. And Cypherin taking the lead with a fantastic death kill. LordFancyPus not really doing the damage he needs to do. Cypherin taking the lead into Drac. The back and forth with the boss kills coming down. Cypherin extending his lead in the process here. They're both going to be taking the secret at this point. You have to think. It's all going to come down to who can get the Drac fight together. Cypherin taking the death! I don't believe this! I don't believe this! I am speechless. LordFancyPus taking the lead because Cypherin fell off at the secret. I am absolutely speechless. Again, this is going to come down to Dracula. A couple cycles difference could make this. LordFancyPus, the first one to go in. On even footing. FancyPus not getting a lot of damage on the first cycle due to a really bad spawn. 2 really bad spawns. Cypherin getting a much more favorable spawn in the process here. FancyPus, however, laying on the whipping. Pretty thick there. Getting us some good shots on LordFancyPus' side. Cypherin with also some nice cross placements. Bad spawns for FancyPus on that side, going back and forth. Cypherin has the life lead. Gets the meat phase to get an extra damage in the process. Get the first one to make it to phase 2. Plenty of health to work with. FancyPus also getting the meat phase, laying on the damage as quick as possible. Cypherin with a lot of health. He's got it, folks. Cypherin is your winner. What what an unbelievably close race. I have to talk about these people. Unbelievable. Big GGs to both of them. LordFancyPus, the morning sun has come to vanquish this unbelievable run. I can't believe it. 44-25 on the clock for Cypherin. A mere seconds apart. And LordFancyPus with a 44-38. Are you kidding me? 13 seconds apart at the end. What a race. I have no words. I did not anticipate this to happen in such a way. Hard fought to the end. Congratulations to Cypherin for pulling that one out. Back and forth at the craziest moments. I know I'm guilty of so many commentators' curses, but I make no apologies after this. What a wonderful race overall. And I have both of them in the booth here with me, folks, and I have to say, I I am speechless. We'll start with the winner, Cypherin. You won by 13 seconds. Please, I just want to just talk to you guys about the mindset going into this. You had the lead for a good chunk of this race, but then it just kind of like it's every time that something would have happened, it just there's so much to talk about. Cypherin, how are you feeling right now?
I'm tired. I think I'll go home now. No, I feel elated. Like it just. I mean, I had way too many deaths, like ridiculous deaths. I'm just GG to LordFancyPus for putting on such a good race. Yeah, I felt it was cleaner than the last one. Like I felt more warmed up, but then yeah, it just like the first one. I definitely gotta go back to the lab and just keep ironing out the bugs per se. But otherwise, like yeah, I'm still very happy. Just held on as much as I could despite everything that the kitchen sink that was thrown, and yeah, it worked. Like I mean, that death on the final area where you get all the food and the crosses. It's like, oh come on now, come on, Cyber. Come on, man. And, it's just yeah.
I have no words that will possibly do this race justice by any means. All I can say is please go back and watch the VOD and see what happened during this race. The storytelling of this one is so good. from stage 3 on, it's just like it's this descent into madness that like I ran out of words at one point about what was actually happening. But that being said, Cypherin, thank you very much for that. LordFancyPus, how are you feeling about this race?
That was some race. That was wild. GG to you, Cypherin. Amazing work, man. So, yeah, so it was going really well, and then I tried the second ring glitch in stage 3. I got it, but I ate a jump input and fell off the edge and died and took my first death, and it was just kind of a roller coaster after that. Getting double KO'd in the Coronaut fight was like, that was painful. And then what up, man? What else happened? So yeah, and then it was kind of smooth after that, and then I got into stage 8, and I was like, I've got to take this a little more aggressively. So I got a 1-frame jump, and then I died later on. I forget exactly how I died, but ended up with rolling on Vegas and getting it at the end. And it was just I did not expect it to be so close. Like at one point, I think I was like 6 minutes behind my PB, and I was just like, man, this is awful. But apparently it was a better race than I thought it was. I would definitely want to check it out.
Well, congratulations to those that stuck around, to the viewers for this one, who were treated to this one hands down. I'm really glad that I was here for the commentary for this one. This is I apologize for getting loud. I'm not sure how well that came through on the stream or not, but I was hype. I was on the edge of my seat for a little bit. I did not believe what was happening. You guys could not have scripted this to be any better than this. It's just back and forth. Stage B was just absolute madness. The game over that you took, LordFancyPus, broke my heart. Oh my god,
I could not believe that was a game over. Yeah. Ugh.
And yet it still came back, and you were still 13 seconds apart at the end. That's the crazy bits about it. So I'm going to just go around the horn here. Cypherin, just to ask you, my friend, what did you think? Like, what was the mental state like throughout the run? Because it looks like you kind of redeemed yourself in stage 1. Like, it was going nice and clean. Stage 2 was pretty okay. And then things just kind of like fell off the rails as you went.
I think as soon as I grabbed the axe, I thought to one of my viewers that told me, like, you're going to have to practice axe strats and stuff. And I'm like, don't jinx me. And yeah, lo and behold, I had the axe, I felt like, for a good chunk of the stages here. But I was just like, just be cool, stay cool. get through it. Like I'm one that I like to take a lot of risk here and there, but it's just I have to like restrain myself, and I kept trying to just say restrain yourself. You don't need to try this out right now. Just get to the end, and yeah, that was the mindset I had. It was just like just get to the end, be cool, play your game.
At any point, I just had to ask both of you here, Cypher, I'll start with you. At any point in that run, did you guys think that you were in the lead? Like, at all?
Oh, man.
No, I died so many times. Oh, go ahead, LordFancyPus, I'm sorry.
No, I'm probably thinking the same thing you are. Like, I thought maybe I might have had the run, or I might have had lead up until I died in stage 3. After that, it wasn't clear, and then I thought there was absolutely no way I was ever going to be in the lead ever again after like stage 7. It was just so bad. I was like 6 minutes behind after stage 8. I'd figured I would get in the chat and you guys would be like, "Oh, finally, you made it."
Yeah, same. I died so many times. It was just like, just keep your head up. Just walk. Just keep going. just keep going. It was wild. It was wild.
Wild is the right word for this one overall. But one thing I just want to kind of highlight from this, hands down, for you folks, especially for those that are viewing here, this is what makes CV4 races so great. Is that the unpredictability of how things can go and how costly deaths can be, and deaths can happen anywhere in this game. That's the crazy bit about it, and that this is the type of stuff we're gonna see during the tournament. Like it's not gonna be like every single one's where it's blown out of the water, automatic machine. Like things are gonna go wrong. People are gonna make mistakes, and they have to recover from it in this process. And you're gonna see stuff like this happen. And this is just the exhibition. That's the crazy bit. I think a lot of people would say, even though this wasn't the most clean or technically sound runs of the night, I think that everyone would say this was the race of the night, hands down. And what a treat. Truly.
Glad I could be part of it.
Yeah, same here. You reminded me of, I forget the stage where you walk into Drax Castle, but I had like the most silly death where I think I hit one of those green dudes it was like a hole in one into a hole. Like I got bumped back to the left, I think. And I think that might have been the start of everything that just went downhill. I feel like where it's like, oh boy, it's gonna be another one of those. But yeah, just held on, and yeah, I'm glad we were able to both put on a good show for everybody. That's awesome.
That's a true understatement by all means. And I think at this point here we'll start wrapping up. I don't think we have any other matches currently slated. Mannix, you can keep me honest here, but I don't know how you could follow that one up. But all right, folks. Well, that being said, again, thank you to all the runners tonight. Thank you to D&D Nat 21, LordFancyPus, Cypherin, Kenshin Trek, Mannix on the back end of that one, Eagle Eye Jones. Glad to have you all here. It was just a wonderful way to spend an evening, just kind of hanging out with you guys here, and a good taste of what's to come. We got 2 months worth of fantastic CV4 action coming up here with the Any Percent tournaments. And this is stuff where it actually matters. Double elimination. Wait for the drama when it's losers bracket and people are fighting for their tournament lives at that point. That should be a good show to watch as well. But thank you guys, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. Glad to have you out here. I'm Retrophile TV doing the commentary thing, and glad to have been here for you fine folks. Make sure you hit the follow button for Castlevania speedruns and follow the runners and such. And it's going to be a great time here, folks. It begins this week. Check it out on Challenge, the exclamation point bracket. Go to see who's facing, who's racing. 23 participants, double elimination, whole bunch of stuff on the way. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful, wonderful evening. And be well and be safe, and we'll see you guys around again soon. Thank you.